So I'm going to give you a quick run through on the kind of things that we need for the boat, and a couple of things that I've been working on lately over Christmas and into January. It's been pretty quiet and I haven't been doing too much, but yeah, this is what's going on. So I pretty much come down here to clean up because there's shit everywhere, and like the library was in a mess, and like there was all this shit on here. And fucking water, or condensation I guess. You can see like a bit of mould in there, which fucking sucks. One of the things I've got to do is put a bit of framework in here, and then like some sort of panel across there so the books don't roll out when we're underway. And I don't know whether I'm keeping this DVD player because held onto it by like a little strap back here, and it's all very well, but in the seaway, if I'm sleeping there, I've got a feeling that that TV is going to end up right on my head in the middle of the night. It'll just break free. I've got to put a mount in for this. I was thinking up here somewhere. That's the inverter. And I want to keep it in this area so that I can crank some tunes and all that. I don't know whether you can see under here, but that's actually a seat you can sit in and chill out and work on the nav table. And there was another one here which I actually preferred to sit in, but I've decided to make this, which was the shelf that goes up here, and whether or not I end up using it or not, but I'm going to close that in under there, which I still need access to because that's like a water tank down there and a bit of an inspection port there. And basically this one's just going to be like the tools and all the stuff. Yeah, actually, well, this thing I got made up because I'm actually once the camera focuses in, there is a pole out there for the wind turbine that I'm trying to put in. A couple of other little things. There's like more tools and accessories and shit in there. And this is underneath the nav table. And so I'm gonna put like a couple of fastenings on here so this doesn't lift up and I get hit by a 8 kilo toolbox full of shit. A couple of months ago, you probably remember the when Willow was beached up on the wharf there, and so she was probably like 40 degrees or something, and the companionway ladder, actually, they're the fastenings up the top, and once you walk down, there's really nothing under there, so this whole thing was kind of like, pretty hard to see, but it was kind of like this and kind of hanging off, and it had like one little thing on and the other one fell off, and so we measured up. It's 14.5. Oh shit. It's 14.5 inches across here. So I'm just going to get a timber and put it in there, and then maybe put like this barrel bolt, sit that on the timber, and then you can clip it in. Yeah, so it'll go, and then just drill a hole and it'll go in there, and that should stop it from, like, that's damaged from, yeah. I bought this little thing for the cutlery, and I was gonna stick it up here somewhere, or in here somewhere, but after living on board for a while, it kind of didn't work. I've just got all my cutlery in a cake tin, which that's definitely not gonna work. But in here also, all the cup holders and stuff, they need to be kind of meshed in as well. And this ice box needs to be fastened down, and so do these cupboards. They all kind of need a latch. heading over to the aft quarter berth. I can't turn the light on because I've got no battery, and I'm rafted up here, so my cables don't actually reach the wharf. But I'm going to use this as like a pantry, and that does go all the way down there, so that should probably keep like a month's worth of food up there. But once again, it needs like some mesh put in here, or like some sort of netting, like seafaring nets for all along there, so all the food kind of stays in. And then I've got like climbing and harness gear and first aid. There's this little solar panel that I've got to make a frame for. And I do actually have that's the, it was actually a Kuma barbecue mount, which I'm going to use for that little solar panel. Once again, all this stuff kind of needs like some sort of netting across here to bridge that, so none of, that's the sextant, so I really need to keep that secure, And also here is like more cupboards for storing food and stuff. So they need a little clip or some sort of fastening on there, which I'm going to have to find. Try and get all the same ones too, so that there's some sort of order. And this one's going to be the liquor cabinet, so that like definitely needs a good fastening, because I don't want the bottles rolling out, of course. So all these hooks I put in just for random keys to get into different parts of the boat. Not that I'll really have anything locked, but I put pencils and stuff in here. And like I've got to get a new barometer because this one's shit the bed. Also there was a clock here which I need to, I'm putting new batteries in, but this will probably just drive me crazy. Like, it would just be doing this for 2 months straight, and I'll probably end up ripping it all apart. But also this is the fridge, which hasn't been working. I'd like to get that kind of sorted. If not, then I'm just going to make it into an ice box and get some dry ice from Vancouver Island and on my way through. Make it an ice box. I think Gary White from the Bitter End told me that on his yacht race to Hawaii, he actually they had dry ice and they had no fridge, and it lasted nearly almost the whole trip. So, and it only took them 13 days to get there because they were racing and whatnot. But whatever. I don't know if you can see, but this is underneath my bedding here, and this folds up, and it is actually the backrest, so it's like a couch. And so what I'm going to try and do, and also all my head valves are down here, so and another water, 30 gallons of water under this side. I'm thinking of like, I think it is actually called a seafaring net, where you actually sleep in it, which I can't afford one. But it'll come up here, and it'll be like kind of like a blanket sort of thing that comes up. And I might take these off. If you can see, you can't see that. I'll probably take that off and put like a little iPad there, or an eye bolt, and then some sort of little pulley system up across here, and it basically lift the seafarer's net so that it's like a wall, so I don't roll out. And so yeah, I'll be kind of sitting in there, and which hopefully we won't really need, because that'll be like pretty bad weather, and I'm looking at not running into such weather. But shit happens and whatever. I was gonna talk about the toilet, but or the head, but I don't think I'm gonna go bother in here. Except for rewiring. That's for my mast headlight, and also what is it? Maybe deck lights if I want to wire them up, which I would like. But it all depends on how much money I've got. And in there's a bit of a schmozzle at the moment. I've got all these sails in there and fly screens and all this other shit. It's probably moulding up in there like you wouldn't believe. Actually, I think I can see mould in there now, but well, there is a pretty big modification for the this forward hatch as well. But you know, I seem to be using whatever quite frequently at the moment, so you know, whatever. I was gonna head down here, but the bed's kind of sprawled out at the moment, so I'm not gonna go and show you, but I cleaned out all this diesel in the bilge the other day, and that was really fun. And just to make it even more interesting, the bilge, the aft bilge underneath the cockpit isn't working, so I was actually hoping that that wouldn't happen. Just because there's no room in there, and I can't even fit in there to fix it. But you know, it's not a fuse. It's it was after we beached, so you know, I could hear it at the time going off, and then it stopped, and then I was wondering what was going on. So you know, whatever. My mate Philip gave me these stainless brackets, which is awesome. And I was going to use the pair of them for something out in the cockpit, but I'm actually thinking that's like the map, the global maps, and then of course the auto helm. And I want to kind of keep the radar display kind of here somewhere. So I'm thinking I'll probably end up putting that there, and then so I can sit it on there. And it'll all be together, so to speak. What else is in this area that needs doing? Not a lot. I've kind of sealed up a lot of the companionway, which this still leaks, which is like the slide for the companionway. And as you can see, it's opened up, it's cracked open there. I think what happened is some water got in there, and then it froze and obviously like expanded, and it's just blown it apart. So there are a couple of screws which I might have to screw in, but I'm just going to leave it till summer and it dries out, because if I do anything in the winter, it's just going to, you know, this is pretty hard to move, and it stops there, and it's pretty hard to move already just because the timber's so swollen, just because of the dampness around. And, oh yeah, and then up there I've got the Dodger, which is fallen to bits, and I really need to make some kind of a, well, I can't really make it, it's pretty hard, but maybe bend up some stainless tube, 1-inch tubular stainless, and you know, make some sort of an awning on top of, or like somehow connect it, maybe use that zipper, I don't know, and connect the Dodger, because down on the equator I'm going to be boiling my ass off, and the biggest thing is going to be sunstroke, really, just with no wind and lots of sun and lots of 35 plus days, and yeah, it's going to be probably 40 degrees in here and 38 out there in the sun, so I don't know what I'll prefer.